Hello and welcome to the Irish Independent's weekly preview of the League of Ireland weekend action. I'm Aidan Fitzmaurice. So we are back after the international break, and with the greatest respect to league leader Shelbourne, there really is only one place to start this weekend, and that is the big Dublin derby at Tallaght Stadium between Shamrock Rovers and Bohemians. No matter where the teams are in the league standings, and at present they are both in the bottom half of the table, this fixture is always huge. Even with that, this one is different. Public interest in the game is intense. A crowd of over 10,000 people is expected, a record for a league game in the modern era. We have had bigger crowds at cup finals, but for a league game, it's astonishing to think that a Bohs Rovers game can get over the 10,000 mark. With all that, add in the extra ingredient of Bohemians playing under new manager Alan Reynolds. His appointment was only confirmed earlier this week, and this is all the makings of a classic. Rovers will have used the international break to get their injured players back to fitness. They also hope that the players who are on international duty come back fit. Roberto Lopez played for Cape Verde, and Marcus Poom played for Estonia. He did pick up a knock in that game. Rovers are hoping that he will have no ill effects, so Poom could be a key figure for Rovers in that game. Reynolds was also on international duty in his coaching role with the Irish under-21s in San Marino, so he's only had 2 days to work with his Bow squad, but he did inherit a panel that had the mood boosted by a win over Derry in the last game before the mid-season break. Jevon Mills, who was over from Hull City, impressed for Bows in defence on his debut. He was thrown in at the last minute. And James McManus is making his way back from injury. So the stars could be aligning for Bohemians. The last time Bows sacked a manager, when Keith Long in 2022, caretaker Derek Pender got a win in his first game against Shamrock Rovers of all people. Now that Reynolds has taken over from Pender, he'd aim for the same, to get a win in his first game against their old enemies. So we can expect goals, expect bookings, a huge crowd, live TV, maybe at least one red card, and what could be an historic night for the league in terms of attendance and a landmark for the league in the future. While some clubs would have welcomed the break, Shells are not one of them, as their form going into the break was so good they would have wanted to keep going. A 2-1 win over St Pat's just before the break made it 5 wins in a row for the Reds, and before that derby, Conor Kearns had enjoyed 3 successive clean sheets in the Shells, as the Shells defensive unit had been very tight. Paddy Barrett in particular was very impressive. Gavin Malloy has been having the form of his life, will no doubtly attract cross-channel interest. It'll be very hard for Shells to retain Gavin. While Shell's link with Hull is no longer in place as an official partnership, the ties are still there because they got Will Jarvis through that link, and he's been exceptional form in the last month. They're up against Dundalk, who have a challenge of their own. Stephen O'Donnell's side don't have a lot of fans, don't have a lot of optimism travelling into this game to Dublin, and for O'Donnell, failure to win in their next game at home to local rivals Drogheda on Monday will have Stephen O'Donnell under pressure. Unlike Shells, and all form St Pat's will have used a break to take a step back and wonder what's gone on, where it's gone wrong for them in the last couple of weeks with 4 defeats in the last 5. They've changed their goalkeeper already, but they were outplayed for long spells against Shells in the last game, and Pats will probably need a different game plan for this game away to Drogheda United, given the tight confines of Drogheda's home ground that don't always suit the St Pat's way. Drogheda were beaten 3-1 by Sligo in their last game before the break, and they badly need their marquee signing France Piero to start scoring. He did play for Haiti's senior international team last week, and they hope that something can come from that maybe Piero can grip something from that and bring it to his form with Drogheda, because they do badly need goals. Sligo Rovers also had players back at their club after some international games, and as they prepare to travel to Waterford, Rovers fans are wondering if Max Mata now really has found the form that made him such a hit in his previous spell at Sligo. 4 goals in the last 3 games for Sligo from Mata, who did play for New Zealand last week along with Nando Pinacre. The goals have dried up for Waterford and Portagamond, and Sligo under John Russell, who would have been under pressure after a poor start that saw them get only 2 points from the first 3 games, have been impressive, with Fabrice Hartman finally showing the sort of form that made him an exciting player when he arrived last year, but also a disappointment in terms of what Hartman did deliver. Waterford are unbeaten at home this season, but it's a blow to lose coach Alan Reynolds to Bows. Bows and Waterford face off in 2 weeks' time, and this one tonight looks like it will be a tense draw between Sligo and Waterford. At the Ryan McBride Brandywell, it's the meeting of Derry City and Galway United, 2 clubs looking for a lift for different reasons. Galway haven't scored in the last 3 games, and you'd wonder if rival managers have now figured out a way of playing against John Caulfield's side. Derry will be glad to be at home in Derry after their away form is so poor. Fixing their home record was a pre-season target for Rory Higgins, and they had done that. It's 3 wins from 3 at the Brandywell, but injuries are already harming Derry, who just can't get the likes of Michael Duffy and Patrick McElhenney on the field for long enough for them to make an impact. Galway will be well drilled for this one, but the artificial pitch, like the one in Derry, doesn't always suit them, and even with their injury problems, Derry can get the win to take them into Monday's huge game away to Shelbourne. So enjoy the Good Friday fixtures as we head into this doubleheader weekend, and keep up to date on the Irish Independent website on all of our sports social media channels for the latest on the League of Ireland.